Hi and welcome. My name's Courtney. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia. I've made a scrapbook page that I know a lot of people are asking questions about, so I thought I'd add a little video and some instructions. You'll notice that I just turned that piece of white cardstock over. I wanted it to be nice and shiny. It's actually the back of the paper that supports our designer series paper when we get the packaging. So it just gave me like a bit of a shiny surface. I've used the Monster Bash designer series paper from the Christmas catalogue or holiday catalogue. It's on page 53. There's some really cool patterns. And I've also used the Night Before Christmas designer series paper. Just some little bits. I wanted some Poppy Parade to go with my photos. I don't know if you noticed them because they sort of flash past, but you'll get to see them again. The photos had a little bit of red in them on the telephone that the boys were holding. So this page came about as a boys page for a scrapbook blog hop that I was doing. That page, that hop, we do once a month with the Scrapbooking Global Stamping Up group on Facebook, and there's actually a link on my blog post to it, but you can search for us and you'll find us. It was all about boys and what little boys are made of, and I don't have any boys. I've got nephews and my husband, but my brother's got three little boys, so two of them were at a party and we had a bit of fun with the photo booth. So I thought, well, okay, I'll do them. I've only got girls otherwise, so most of my pages are very girly. I've been madly watching Lisa Oxley videos on YouTube because and I'm really enjoying them. I've made some cards like her, using her techniques. So I started this page with that intent, for it to look like her sort of thing, and to use some of the inspiration that I gained from that. And when you see the end product, I think you'll be able to see where that resemblance is. So I've pulled out the Capture the Good stamp set, which is new in the annual catalogue, and I hadn't used it before, so I had mounted it, but I hadn't used it. It's one of the cling stamps. I loved the camera. I just thought that's what did it for me. So here I'm just trying to see a bit of placement, and because I'm writing over this, there's a few, what's the words for it, and times when I just went, oh yeah, that didn't work. Like now, I've cut out these letters, and I went to make a mask, and I thought, oh, that'll be great. I'll just put a mask there. I'll just do a few things and stick in my little bits back in, and they didn't want to stick nice. And then I tried using it as a mask with some stays on, and well, you're about to see, I didn't like what it had to show me, and I just went, ditch that idea. So I pulled out some other ideas. That marker is one of the journaling pens. I couldn't find, it was the 0.051. I couldn't find my 0.01. I think one of the kids has relocated it. So yeah, later on I'll pull out the basic black Stampin' Right marker, which is similar. It's got a brush end and or a bullet end and a little pointy end, which still did the job for what I wanted to do. I noticed through Lisa's videos she does heaps and heaps of outlining and writing around things with markers, and that was one of the things that I really actually enjoyed. So, because it comes together quite nicely. And that take your pick tool, man, that thing's handy. You'll see it come in. You'll see me try and pick stuff up a few times and it come out of the woodwork, and yeah. I just love that camera. So I'm just touching things up a little bit there, and there's some really cute images, and not images. They're actually the only image in there is the camera and the little bit for the lens, and the rest are all font. And there's some quite cute little sayings in there, which I thought suited the photos. So again, let's try let's try using the mask with the stays on. Well, that didn't work, and guess what? It's still on my mask. It didn't come off. I tried washing it with some warm soapy water. So now I've got the embossing paste out because I needed some texture. I really like texture, and I didn't use any fibre on this page at all, which is actually unusual and unlike me. Oh, did you notice what I did then? I had a spatula, just a normal spatula from whatever cheap, junky dollar shop type thing that you can get. And because it's soft and squishy, it actually pushes it in quite nicely, the embossing paste. Oh yeah, watch this. This is Bodgy Brothers Incorporated. It didn't turn out real crash hot. It's all, that camera was blotchy and whatnot, and because I didn't use my Stamparatus, I couldn't go straight back over the top because it wouldn't work. So, and what do they say? That, you make do and you fix stuff as you need to. Well, this is me fixing it. I'm actually quite impressed that when you've speed things up, how well you fussy cut. So this stamp doesn't have a set of dies to go with it, so it needs fussy cutting. Okay, and back out come the pens. The 0.05 wasn't cutting it for me, so it wasn't thin enough, hence the marker. I did notice when the difference between the two pens though, which I found very interesting. On the journaling pens, if you write in black over the top of the embossing paste with those, it stays black. The same with the paint. The paint I used earlier was just some basic white acrylic paint. But if you write over embossing paste or the white acrylic paint with our Stampin' Write marker, it goes like a grey colour, and you actually have to go back over it again to get it to be black. So now I'm just cutting out that little piece. I didn't like the first one I did. So it was a bit of a Bodgy Brothers when it came to rubbing the stays on around it. But doesn't that camera look smick? I like how it turned out. It was actually quite cathartic. And it's even better watching it as I'm going back and it's going in super speedy mode. I do like that. And I was going to put some music over it, and I thought, no, people like to know what you're doing and what makes you think. Well, I know I do when I watch. What made me think of why I wanted to do that? And sometimes it's nice hearing that story. Okay. I do think it's important to journal on our pages. I do think it's important to have some information on there, like especially the date. So you'll notice that when I pull that pen out, you'll notice that I actually write the date on the bottom, and we go from there. I was just using that to line it up to make sure that photo was straight. So it's a bit hard to eyeball the middle photo, I decided. I wasn't getting it right, and my mother has a very straight eye and is quite happy to come and tell us. Now, I don't know why I put that red dot there, but I didn't like it, so I fixed it. And so the doodling began. And I just kept going around, and look, it looks really cool. So I was just actually going around where I'd embossed, and you'll see me run my finger across places, and that's where I couldn't really see where the embossing is, but I could feel where it was. Because I wanted to actually go around it, and I didn't want it to be even. I didn't want it to be planned. I just wanted it to be there. So it just gives it some texture, because I knew I wasn't using any fibre on it. Don't you just love that photo of those little boys? They were so short, and it was just so cute. They're my little nephews, and for those people that know me, that my husband's there and my brother, and it was lots of fun. But just those little, with that massive big black background, I couldn't chop it out, although it would have worked if I had, but I couldn't chop it out because it was just, we got this bunch of photos and there was just these kids, tops of their heads more or less, and their faces and whatever they'd been dressed up in. And I knew that they'd really enjoyed it, so hence that. So now I'm making all the other cameras look like the camera that I've made as a part of the focus. So, and I love that you can do this with the stamps. And you can make it any colour you wanted, but I know in my head my camera's black, and I wanted it black because I wanted it to go with the page. But yeah, it was just one of those things. And here comes that other heart one that I had tossed aside earlier, but I got it to work. It was really hard for me to decide to put what colour to put in that heart. I was going to initially do it in black, and then I thought no, it needed to be the red colour. So I will end up colouring it in, because I was going to leave it and I was going to make it black, and then I was like, had to think about it for quite some time, as you can tell. But I hope you actually enjoy like these process type things. I haven't done anything like this before. I normally show you the whole thing and only speed up little bits and add the Apple Music that goes with it, because I'm using iMovie to make it. and it was a bit of fun. So now, when it comes to those, I just looked at that and I thought, yeah, nah. And I'd actually cut out black initially because black was what I was going to use. I didn't cut out the exclamation mark in black, but I went back and did that. So, and here we go. Add the letters. It just made they looked really messy. It was cool. So that was the dot. Now that's okay, but I decided that it needed a bit more loving. So, wow, gosh, I'm cutting that fast. And it was just a matter of getting it placed right over that hole or that circle that we'd made before, messing up the edges a bit more. Yeah. If you're interested, there is a photo of it on my blog, this page, and so that you can actually blow it up and you can see things a bit closer and a bit clearer if there's something that you wanted to see. What I'm using there is the same as what I used for the back of the photos, just to raise them up a bit, because you'd need a lot of dimensionals otherwise. But that's the chipboard, thickened cardboard that's actually at the back of our glimmer paper. And it just made things a little bit higher, but not high enough that they actually damage any of our other pages that are in the photo album. So, and I do like that, and it keeps the photos flat. And it's, yeah, so write my date on there, and then I went through and I thought, well, I know who all these people are, but I don't know where this page is going to end up in years to come. So I did write everybody's name on it, just so that I could actually add some extra font or script writing, whatever you want to call it. So everybody is labelled, for want of a better way of putting it. And like the little fellows will grow up, and it'll be a nice record for them to have it as well. So, but yeah, it was totally left field, this one, but I did enjoy doing it, and I recommend that anybody, if you've got someone that you really like and you like to watch, see what you can do that's similar to theirs and have a bit of fun with it is probably something that's really good fun. Oh, here comes my pup. I've noticed that how noisy my house is. Like every time I turn around, there's someone else making noise. So a few close-ups for you. Thank you so much for watching and joining. I am planning to add more videos as I go. See you next time.